Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Sam Cherry.
And what are we, some type of Suicide Squad podcast? That's right.
Fuck.
This is the entire episode dedicated to talking about the Suicide Squad in honor of the James Gunn movie that's coming out. Sam is incredibly excited to relive all the moments from that, and
yeah, totally. Didn't know this was happening. I'm very excited.
Just getting back to our roots of just loving on DC properties and just refusing to let it go.
Hey, I already lost one family. I'm not going to lose another. You know?
Yeah. My favorite parts of the movie are. Just every time the Joker is just a middling mob boss villain, that's always very fun to me. How the first 30 minutes of the movie are flashbacks with glossy text over them. And I think there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 songs they took from just anything and they put in. So yeah, it's a masterpiece, 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, I am really looking forward to the Ayer cut and not seeing the new movie because it is going to be a bastardization of the villain or of the.
It's going to be good.
The original director's vision, which is something that we as this fan base cares a lot about for some reason.
I hope that the Ayer cut has more Slipknot in it. I mean, he can climb any building. There's gotta be more footage of that guy, right? Like, I feel like we got kind of faked out.
Yeah, they. So for those that haven't seen the Suicide Squad in a while,
of course they've seen the Suicide Squad.
They introduce all the characters through these really intense
third of the movie
text graphics to the side of them, where it's just like. It has all these like trailer style.
It's how they were introduced at Comic-Con as like little like teasers.
Yeah,
that they just like reworked into the movie.
So it has that, but two characters are not introduced this way, and they are, in my opinion, it's the best two introductions in film history.
So funny. One
is Katana, and she shows up, and there are these like couple of lines about her. It's like. This is Katana. She has my back. This is Katana. She has my back. Her sword traps the souls of everyone it kills. Don't mess with her. And I was just like,
I routinely forget that she has like a second character moment, and I think that's even more baffling because I like fully forget she's in the movie, right? Like she's in that scene, and then it's like Katana's not in the movie. I don't know if she's in the bar scene. I don't know where Katana is during the movie.
No idea.
And then she has like one last scene where she's talking to the soul of her dead husband because somebody used the sword to kill her husband. And she got the sword from them. So now her husband's soul is stuck in the sword. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I don't know if she's in the finale. I don't know if she's in the movie other than these two shots of her. And it is so weird that So, but yeah, of course, they do all of this where they're like, well, we don't have any metahumans, and we don't have any way to fight metahumans, so we have to get this Suicide Squad together, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but we do have Katana. She's here, though, also, and she's like a good guy, or at least she's on our side.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
she has Rick Flag's back, so...
She has Rick Flag's back, and I think Rick Flag even gets like a... Zoom Pow Comic-Con intro, right?
He does get a Zoom Pow Comic-Con intro, yes.
Right.
He gets a Zoom Pow Comic-Con intro, and then in no dialogue at all, except for like maybe one thing, and it's like, oh, and he's in love with the main villain. And you kind of go, okay.
He's dating the witch for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone who actually probably gets more screen time and lines than Katana, you have our second add-on at the end.
Mm-hmm. So the second add-on is this guy just gets out of a truck and they say, this is Slipknot. He can climb anything.
You've misremembered. It's weirder than that.
Oh, it is? Okay.
They throw him out of, he's in a body bag. They unzip him out of a body bag, and he's like, I'm here. And then they're like, this is Slipknot, he can climb anything. So he's like fully a prisoner also. They just like don't introduce him like everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like everyone, this is right after they all change clothes and like they're getting ready, and then like they drop this body bag, and then they unzip it, and Slipknot's in the body bag, and they're just like, yeah, also him.
Yeah. Anyway, this
fucking
guy,
rocks.
This guy can climb anything. No, but the way
can climb anything, guys.
The better part is they introduce Katana. She gets onto the plane as they're leaving, and it's like, oh, unrelated. There's this girl. She has a sword.
Magic sword,
she has a
whatever.
Sword that can trap the souls of people. I like. It seems like because this was at a stage in like DC's development where they didn't exactly know what direction they were going to go yet, because it seemed like, oh my goodness, everything is normal except there's this one alien named Superman, and there's this guy named Batman who is, he's a super rich crime fighter, and then there's this girl named Wonder Woman who we don't rightly know everything about. And then Suicide Squad is just like, yeah, listen, we got a guy that can shoot fire, that can turn into an Aztec god. We got this girl from another dimension who is trying to release her brother from a statue. And we got this...
A crocodile man.
We got this crocodile man. And we got this girl who has a sword that can trap the souls of anybody. So have fun with that.
This spooky lady.
You girl with a bat and dude with a gun. Let's all hop on this plane. Let's go deal with
Dude with a gun, though. Okay, to be fair, dude with a gun, I think has superhuman accuracy, right? Is that his thing? He's not just like a guy who's good at shooting, right?
I think he's just a guy who's good at shooting. But
I assume he had some like superpower that made him so good at shooting.
I think it like kind of dips into the zone of him being so good at shooting. It's like almost like superhuman, like. He can like bounce a bullet off of like a bunch of surfaces and it'll hit somebody. Or maybe there's this, oddly enough, there's
Captain Boomerang, of course.
There's this guy in X-Men. His name is Longshot. And like his whole shtick is that he's really lucky. Like he can like basically do anything because he has the mutant ability to like bend the luck of the universe in his favor at all times. And so he can kind of do anything he wants. And so, yeah, when your cells mutate, you get the ability to coalesce,
control the universe,
all of luck in favor upon you.
Yeah. Luck, a very tangible force that is totally real. That
your cells can react to.
Now, I don't want to talk about a good property for too long, but in Die, which in a couple of weeks the final volume will come out and I'll get to finish Die. But in Die there's a character. Now they're in a magical fantasy world.
Die famously referenced on a recommendation station.
Yeah, it's very good. I think all the issues are probably out, but I bought 3 of the volumes, and so I'm like, I don't want 3 volumes and then just 4 loose comic books. So I'm gonna wait for the 4th volume to come out. Regardless. His whole thing is that in this world, the more reckless he is, the more things go his way. Like, he's lucky. That's his whole thing. So he has to, he gets drunk and runs into battles and, there's all these guards. And it's like, well, you could sneak. And he's like, no, I got this. And he'll just sort of run in there. And it all works out because the more reckless he is, the more lucky he is. Which plays out in a limited series as very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let's talk about some kind of Suicide Squad.
It's just great, and there's just so many things about it that are not boring or terrible, and it's a really great watch. Definitely recommend, and I'm really excited for the new Suicide Squad by James Gunn. I think he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, I hear it's good, though.
I don't know exactly when this episode's coming out, but possibly...
fuck, who knows?
It'll be out well past this day that this came out.
Did it come out today?
No, it's coming out on Friday. This Friday.
Oh, no.
Which I'm not going to say out loud because I don't want to mess with the continuity of the show. I don't want people listening to this sometime in October.
Well,
if they're going back through old episodes, I want them to be like, it's coming out this Friday.
Yeah, as we've mentioned before, most podcast listens are, long after the episodes come out. But I think. I have no data to back that up. Anyway, I lost my hard drive, and then, as I think I mentioned last week, I moved, and so I've been incredibly busy, and we haven't had an episode in like 3 weeks. But, sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So, episode... I don't know. Okay, so Zach, let's talk for a second.
Yeah, sure.
So, episode 89 is kind of lost in that it's in a hard drive, in a box, somewhere in my new apartment.
Oh.
But episode 90 we recorded last week, and that's just sitting here on my computer, and I can edit that one when I get a chance.
The lost episode.
So the most recent episode that came out is 88. Do I call the next one 90 or 89? And then we just, whenever I find the hard drive, episode 89 will come out.
Maybe you should just do a recording it's funny because by the time that this comes out, everyone will have figured this out because it'll have happened.
Unless this is episode 91 and it comes out and 89 still hasn't come out because I haven't found the hard drive.
Yeah, well, I think this will be a good answer to the questions that people have, which is like, wait a minute, where's episode 89?
Oh, right.
So maybe
because either I put 89 first
you have to get this far before you find out exactly what happened to the missing episode.
Okay, then this is 91. This is episode 91.
Yeah. That's
and good. I'll just put out 90 and 91, and then
years from now we'll release
when I find it
89, and then whatever we talked about then, probably something to do with the Olympics that's well gone by this point.
It's the Space Jam episode.
Oh no! No! Algae Rhythm came into into the server and destroyed it because he wanted no negative words said about Space Jam.
No, I mean, Algae Rhythm hid my hard drive somewhere in one of these boxes, and I'm yet to unpack it. And so, maybe he brought it into the serververse. Who knows?
He's getting into our world. Oh no, Algae Rhythm.
That's fine. Don Cheadle, you do whatever you want.
Excited for everyone to hear that episode. It's still because Space Jam: A New Legacy is going to be so much of a cultural juggernaut coming out in the next coming years. That episode could come out literally whenever, and everyone will know exactly what we're talking about because it will be so much in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, totally. It won't be immediately forgotten as like content fodder in 2 weeks.
No. We will. I think honestly, by giving it a little more time to wait, it's like if we release it around the time of Space Jam, it would have gotten lost because everyone was talking about it.
Right,
but everyone's like, the people that want to hear some new content well after everyone's already said their thoughts, they're going to see our thing and go like, whoa, finally, some new blood, some new fresh Space Jam takes.
Well, but what they don't know is that we recorded it like the day after the movie came out.
Exactly. So
but that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah. They'll think it's more season takes. It's more. Yeah, more
reflected. Hey everybody, this is Sam from the future. Just a quick editing note. I'm going to reference a previous episode last week that it has gotten deleted because I was rather drunk and spent about 20 minutes saying disparaging things about the English. So anyway, that episode has gone into a fire, and that's what I'm talking about. Speaking of things that did age super well, this week I finished I finished The Sopranos, and it seems like we're going to get a week-by-week update on how Sandman is, because once a week I buy a volume of Sandman. Update, still good.
You did talk about Sopranos last week, I'll have you know.
Oh, I know. Wait, but had I finished it last week?
You had finished it last week, yes.
Damn. I was pretty drunk, so it is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, you had some great takes. I mean, you'd briefly introduce Sandman to me. So,
well, I had read only volume 1, and then this week I read volume 2, and then on Friday volume 3. This Friday for the readers, for the listeners. This Friday, the same time that the movie's coming out, volume 3 will be arriving, and I'll read that, and then and just for the next 10 weeks, you can get an update. And the update is still good. Volume 2, also good.
All right.
Apparently, much like Dune, when I get really into something, I manifest them making a not very good, TV version of it or movie version of it, because they're also trying to make a Sandman movie which I cannot imagine will be good. Much like the Dune movie,
I reckon that they will be good in their own way, almost like supplemental material, or like someone else telling the story of Dune, but in a different medium. So
yeah, maybe, but probably it'll be bad.
Okay.
I don't know. So anyway, you said you had a full docket. What else you got?
Well, I also wanted to say, and this is a brief thing, but there is nothing that I will not do for the content, and by that I mean I will put myself in very uncomfortable situations just for the purpose of you viewers, and for those that have been keeping track of my birthdays and how much information I freely give about where I'm from and where I live and how old I am, then you will have correctly assessed that this last weekend I did go to my high school reunion, and it was the best. I gotta tell you.
Zach.
So
wait, was your ex-girlfriend there?
So quick backstory about my high school reunion, and that is most of the planning of it did happen during the COVID times, so I can't really fault him for everything, but I can fault him for a bit. And
cool.
So my sister's birthday was last weekend, so I was in town with my sister on her birthday, and I had remembered that our high school reunion was happening that same weekend, so I was like, oh my gosh, what an absolute treat. I'm going to go to this thing as well, because the timing was worked out so well. I'm just going to zip on over there. It was in Bowling Green, Kentucky, at the National Corvette Museum.
Go Gators.
Go Gators. And so walked in there. Just a couple of things. Number one, the DJ was playing only songs from the year 2011, which was incredible. A lot of Kesha, a lot of... I did not realize that must have been the year that the Black Eyed Peas were cooking. But they were throwing out some serious content in 2011. Lots of and a Colby Calais song, which I don't think came out then, but the DJ was desperately trying to get anyone on the dance floor by playing just like the hardest hitting songs of 2011. And
wait a minute. So what's the floor? So you walk into this room and it's a dance?
You walk into this room and it's a bunch of tables placed around, and there is a dance floor that no one is on. And if
of course not.
Yeah,
why would you do that?
Adults. And
why would you do that to yourself?
And if you look directly to your left, you will see that there is a cash bar that is taking up a line that is like the entirety of the room. So So I get into the line and I see some of my friends from elementary school, and that's always a good time because the only thing that you really can ask someone at a high school reunion, and I should have known this, was so what are you up to? And it's like, I manage a coffee shop. What do you do? Oh, I'm a physical therapist. Great.
I'm a sales rep for Globotech or whatever. Whatever normal people jobs are.
And so,
did you say you were a podcaster? You should have gone with podcaster.
Oh
I'm a podcaster now.
Oh, I should have.
How funny would that be if you just pretended that this was your full-time job?
Gosh.
I'm a podcaster.
I'm a podcaster. I'm a YouTuber.
We have 90 episodes.
No,
I'm a YouTuber. Yeah. What if you just tried to convince them you were Mr. Beast? You're like, I'm a YouTuber. You can check me out. I'm Mr. Beast.
I should have said... Oh my gosh, you're right. I should have gone. If you're listening to this and you're about to go to your high school reunion, just say you're a
tell them you're a podcaster.
Just say something.
Oh, that's all because they're not going to look it up.
And you can just that they won't follow up on. Even if I was to say a podcaster, which I guess I am, like I could point to any podcast and go, "That's me."
That's me.
Like
I'm the brother. Like, I'm the me and my brother and me. Yeah. I'm me.
That's me. I'm Zach Dissect. That's what they call me.
That's what they call me. Oh yeah, Mr. Robert Dissect.
I'm Robert.
Yeah, exactly.
Robert Dissect. That's me.
They actually got me to replace both hosts.
But
you didn't tell them you were a podcaster.
I basically only just wanted to reference that I did go there and I did spend $25, which is a little steep, but they did have a DJ playing songs from 2011, so he did probably have to pay for all those. And
oh, you paid $25 at the door.
I went over to where the food was, and the food was
from 2011.
Pulled pork, baked beans, and cornbread flapjacks. And that's it. That's the end of the menu.
Is it a buffet? What is the food situation?
It was a buffet. Like walking up and like taking it out with like spoons.
Okay. That fucking okay. No, wait. You didn't answer my question earlier.
What's that?
Was your ex-girlfriend there?
Oh no, she was. Well, she graduated a year underneath me. I was
damn it! You're right. She is a year younger than us. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn, because that'd have been a party.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay. Anyway, so you had baked beans. Did you eat this food? I mean, I cannot imagine getting through this without. I mean, I would never go to my high school in a million years. But also, like, from what I hear, most of them, or at least in Louisville, most of them are like at bars. Like they'll go to like Molly Malone's or something, and that could be passable. Like I wouldn't go, but I could see that being. I can't imagine going back to the high school.
Yeah, no. Well, we didn't go back to the high school, and that would have been even better.
Corvette Center.
Like
Corvette
just
Center,
to walk through the halls again and go, yeah, this is
gross.
This is where I was king.
Is the big hole still there in the Corvette Center?
So it's interesting that you say that because I did want to bring up, high school reunion, yada, yada, yada. I ended up staying for about an hour and 10 minutes, and then I was like, this is about enough for this.
Brave man. Yeah, totally.
It came around the point where the DJ did play Cupid Shuffle, and then one person got on the dance floor.
Gotta get out of there.
And I was like,
oh, no.
I was like,
Zach, oh no! One person did the Cupid Shuffle by themselves?
One person was doing the Cupid Shuffle by themselves. Like kind of doing that move of kind of trying to beckon other people to the dance floor with them, and not a soul was going out there. They were all just sitting at the tables.
Of course not. Now, wait a minute.
I don't
want you to dox this person.
But I think I will be in a position where that does happen. So that was pretty exciting.
God, here's hoping. I don't want to dox this person, but could you give me like a vibe of like
this person was
I can cut this, honestly.
I will probably cut this. They were a tap dancer, and that was kind of their personality, was a tap dancer.
Oh, this is the most important question. Is it a boy or a girl?
It was a boy. He was he was kind of tap dance guy. He was definitely very dancey in the hallways. So it did make sense that when I told people about it later, I was like, when I said who it was, they were like, that makes sense. He was always tap dancing down the hallways. So that 100% tracks with that guy. He was kind of that way. I remember there was one time in high school where we had to do a project of writing a poem in history class, or doing a project of a similar nature about a subject of our choice. And he did rewrite the lyrics to Firefly by Owl City to be about slavery. So that's kind of his whole vibe.
Does he want to co-host a podcast? Do we want to third mic him on the podcast? Because he seems like he has some good energy.
Yeah, I actually don't remember a lot about this dude, but that burns in my brain forever.
Of course.
He did, and he sang the song too. He got up in front of the class and he played the instrumental of Fireflies, and then did sing the song in front of everyone. And
now, was this a requirement for the assignment?
It was not a requirement of the assignment. I think that in writing a song was also not. He came up with that on his own. We could have done a board, or we could have done a book report. But he was like, I might fuck around and write a song about slavery. But he did. Yeah, he did sing it in front of the whole class, and I believe he got an A in that. It is very hard to
you got a D.
Really, he really went above and beyond for the project, so you can't just be like, oh, that was a middling effort. It's like, man, you really did that.
When I was in high school, when I was in high school for my World Civ class, we all had to rewrite lyrics about a historical figure, and so I wrote I was in a group, but I wrote a rap song about Joseph Stalin to the beat of...
So you haven't changed a bit.
Real Slim Shady? Yeah, I know. It was a real precursor of things to come. But I will say, it was required that both everyone do this, and also that you were required to perform it in front of the class. And it was a rap song, and it wasn't a Fireflies about slavery, which is fucking wild. But I had to write a rap song about, or had to, whatever, change the lyrics to the real Slim Shady to a song about Joseph Stalin, which I would kill to get those lyrics back. I'm like, what the hell did I know about Joseph Stalin that I could write, that I could transpose these lyrics?
That you could. Zibbity, and then write about Joseph Stalin. That's incredible. That's incredible. If you could find that, I would really love to. That'll be our number one page.
Oh, I would. Yeah, I would re-record it and perform. Saying we would do a whole. We'd release the track on iTunes, but I can't imagine that I will ever find those lyrics. I remember the chorus being "I'm Joe Stalin, I'm the real Stalin," and that being about as far as I can remember.
And that is about as much historical content as is.
Well, yeah, and I knew Hammer and Sickle was a thing, so I think at the end where Eminem says something about like put both your middle fingers up, or like put a finger on each hand up. It was something there was something about a hammer and sickle in there, but I didn't know anything about communism at all, or socialism, or Joseph Stalin.
Yeah,
it was a very surface level, like something about Russia, USSR, Joseph Stalin.
So that's pretty good. Well, please find that so we can and will record that.
I would love to
find it. But yeah, in answer to one of your questions, I did go see where the big hole was. And
of course.
Because to the credit of with getting an invitation, or rather with getting a venue that's in the Corvette Museum, one of the things is you do get to walk around the Corvette Museum, and when everyone is watching the guy do Cupid Shuffle all by himself, you do get the museum all to yourself, which is pretty exciting. So I walked through the museum, and it's mostly Corvettes, things I don't really know or care all too much about. And I thought that maybe when you got to where the big hole was, it would kind of be like, oh, hey, this is where the big hole was, and that's it. But no.
Oh, no.
When you get to where that happened, it becomes the Sinkhole Museum at that point. It is like...
Because they keep the cars, right?
It is like so much of it is like, and this is what a sinkhole is. This is what happened. Here's news reports from the day of. And there's this piece of tape on the floor that's like, this is where the sinkhole started. This is where the sinkhole finished. And you can walk around and you can see the cars that they pulled out of it. And I gotta say, like, the amount that those cars have increased in value by getting smashed up must be like 800%. Because once you see a bunch of nice Corvettes in a row, no one's paying to see like a 10th or 11th nice Corvette in a row. You want to see you are the narrator from Fight Club. You want to destroy something beautiful. You want to see that thing smashed up. And that's exactly what it was. It was a bunch of smashed up Corvettes in a room, and there was a room where you could walk in, and there was a sinkhole simulator. So that was pretty fun.
What's up? Hey, wait, what's up? So they filled in the hole?
They filled in the hole. Well, yes, they filled in the hole. Got it.
I honestly didn't know. I thought it was still the sinkhole was just saying.
No, that would have been pretty great. No, they didn't fill up the hole. They put. I'll explain this in a moment, but I do want to get into the sinkhole simulator, which is
please tell me about the sinkhole.
It's simulator. A room you go into, and it kind of does a rundown of the time up until when the sinkhole happened, and you get on this little floor platform, and it shakes a little. And then you see like a artist rendition of the Corvettes falling into the sinkhole, and it's
but there's like video
noises happen. Which
gosh,
it was pretty great.
Scale of 1 to 10, how good is the artist rendition? Like how they do in the artist rendition?
So what was that again?
How does it look? How does the artist rendition look?
Oh, it just looks like a bunch of 3D models of those Corvettes like falling into it's you're in this little room, and it's like you're on the same level as the Corvettes, and then you fall in with them, but it's like a bunch of 3D models of the Corvettes like kind of tumbling down with you.
I got it.
Yeah. So
that sounds rad. I'm sure it cost $100 million.
Yeah, but I mean, they're making that money back because they were not making any money looking at the 1,500,000 Corvette. Like, that's not happening. You're making money by looking at it just absolutely destroyed.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like boat dads or like riding lawnmower dads who really would pay a lot of money to go to the Corvette Museum.
Yeah,
and just be like, oh, that car is cool too.
Yeah,
which to be fair, I am that guy as well. Yeah, but it's like I would go to the Corvette Museum and be like, that car is also cool. But I feel like there's a lot of boat dads in the world that would love to just like look at cool.
Well, they do definitely. They go to that market a lot. They do. There is quite a lot of marketability towards just like the first like tons of the museum is just you literally just looking at cars. But like,
it's like that one's cool too.
Once it's showtime, it's showtime. Like once you get to where it happened, they're like, "Hey, we know why the fuck you're here. Like we know.
I get it.
We know why you came into this room specifically."
Yeah. It's not Tyler Whitmer's wedding. You're here for another reason.
Yeah.
And that's
you are not here for this reunion. But so I will. There is actually one pretty cool thing that about the Corvette Museum so they didn't fully cover the sinkhole up. Which is important. So you can walk up to like this little platform where you can look down into the sinkhole. Where you can like look down to see how far it goes, and you're standing basically on this little like thing where you can lift it up and you can like get on a ladder and like walk down into the sinkhole. So there is like, you can pick it up, you walk down this ladder, you're going into the ladder, like and then you get to the bottom of it and oh, this is weird.
Oh, fuck you.
It's like, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to see, but if I pull out my phone, oh my gosh, I don't think anyone's ever seen this before. I think I've just unearthed a secret. I think
what kind of secret?
I think I've just unearthed the secret man.
Fuck you. I was like, they have a ladder into the hole? That's crazy, man. What a crazy thing that they would do.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about our boy.
Hello, everyone.
Tell me about our last we left our hero.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Zach's Secret Book Club. Zach's Secret Book Club is a book club where we are reviewing The Secret Man, an American Warrior's uncensored story by Frank Dux. Frank Dux is an American martial artist who was the inspiration behind the movie Bloodsport, and he's also a big fat liar.
And that part's true.
Parody, allegedly, do not sue us, Frank Dux, unless you will be there in the courtroom, in which case, please sue us. I would love to.
Unless don't. Sam is saying in the past and in the present, do not sue me. But if you're currently suing me and we're listening to this in court, I would like to say, other than calling him a big fat liar, the other part was completely true. He is an American martial artist.
Is.
That's true.
Yes.
He did inspire Bloodsport, although I would guess through a lie. But he did inspire Bloodsport.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. I'll let all of the experts and everyone mentioned in the story be the judge of whether or not he did any of this other shit, as they've all gone on record saying he's lying. But,
Yeah, I would love to be a part of the court case that does finally decide whether or not
we're going to be.
So it has to be like legally binding.
We will, because that's what it is. That's the court case we're in currently.
Oh yeah,
that they're listening to the tape of is like, look, Frank, the onus is on you. We're saying you're lying, but like you have to prove. Right? Would that be how it would work?
I think it's
he has to prove
that we're making. So the burden of proof would technically be on Frank because the burden of proof is not on us. We have the book.
Well, but also the lawsuit would be liable.
Yeah.
Right? The charge would be liable. So the burden of proof would be on him to prove that we are lying.
Yeah.
Which would mean you also then have to prove that the things in this book are true.
Yeah. And there's
if they are
things in this book you need to prove are true.
The Master, Seduction School, Fish.
Yeah.
This this Delphi 9.
Yeah,
a lot. The time you were dressed like Mario, a lot of shit in here you got to deal with.
And not counting the thing where you did threaten to beat up someone in your martial arts class by throwing an extension cord onto water in a grill. Okay, we know that shit happened.
Just tell, or like, just again, I need diagrams from Frank about like. So you punched the top of the brick, but then one shot out of the side. Like, just explain in pictures what the fuck you're talking about ever.
What I do really need from Frank, and you know, I'm inches away from tweeting about this. What I do need from Frank is how he turned his credit card into a knife. That's like number.
I gotta know.
That's like number one for me.
Did he fold it in the moment? He had to. Otherwise, it's just a bad knife. Why would he have that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So.
Last we left our hero.
Frank was in this. So Frank is hot on the trail of Delphi 9, which is, we'll learn a bit more
different from the real compound.
What?
Delphi 9.
Yeah.
Different from the real compound Delphi 9, which is a different thing.
We'll learn a bit more about
different poison.
And Delphi 9 is a bioweapon of sorts, and is directly linked to an anthrax explosion that happened in the real Soviet Union that killed real actual people that Frank is using for this book. And
true. This is a true anthrax explosion in a lab that was real and did happen.
Yes.
But he believes that sorry, I thought you were going to say
no.
I don't know why I thought you knew what I was going to say. But according to Frank, that real explosion was a cover-up to destroy, kill people who knew about something.
Where
Delphi 9, which I can't emphasize enough, is different from the actual poison Delphi 9.
Yes.
So when you look up Delphi 9, you're gonna find a real poison.
Yes.
That's not this. It's a different thing.
Yes.
It's GoldenEye, James Bond, or whatever he says.
Yeah, it was a GoldenEye, James Bond, Delphi 9. So Frank has been tasked to work with a KGB agent named Pope. And it's funny because he's no saint. And he is kind of going off on his own and
immediately leaves. Immediately is gone from the story.
Yeah, so he's gone to Frank's little hideouts in other countries, kind of going to really shady bars with the intention of, interviewing some of his criminal friends to find out if they know anything about Delphi 9. And the trend of this does continue in this week's installment of Zach's Secret Book Club. So, now that we're all caught up, let's meet Frank on a train to Dusseldorf. So Frank is on his way to Dusseldorf. And
what country is that?
He is still hot on the trail. He's still looking for his. He's still looking for not necessarily fish just yet because we don't know about him. But he's hot on the trail of Delphi 9, and he gets into his room in Dusseldorf. And it is absolutely terrible. It is like a shitty hotel room. It's got bad water pressure. It smells like piss.
Yep.
So Frank is out of there, and Frank goes to where his contacts are, and that is in a place called Club Sabra. That's right, everyone. We're doing another Mos Eisley Cantina scene where we go and meet some unsavory people at a club in Dusseldorf. The club is named...
I was really hoping this was going to be the John Wick Hotel episode.
Well, kind of. It's so he goes to this club, and this club has everything you need. It has people that can get you fake documents. It has people that can make you disappear. It has people that can get you any gun, any whatever. Like,
no matter how heavy they are, just any gun.
Yeah. So you can go find like anything in this place. And they do reference this one woman, which I think is really interesting. There is this woman who specializes in taking like people that are on the run from the law. And she's like, don't worry, I can help you. And then she's like, I can make you disappear. And then the person disappears. And then they're just like, wow, she must have really gotten them off the grid. But it's revealed within the next sentence that she just grounds them up into dog food. And then...
hey, what's up? Hey, hold on, what's up?
So there's this woman who can make people disappear. And
she just murders them.
So she makes them disappear by fucking murdering them and grounding them.
That's a bad service. I wouldn't pay for that.
Yeah. Grounding them into dog food. And then that's it. That sounds real. That's the whole thing. That's the way she makes them disappear.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
For us to be charged with libel, Frank must prove that this exists.
Yes.
That this dog food lady is real. And that he knows her and met her in this bar.
Yeah, well, like, the thing, though, is if it's such an open secret, why do people go to her? You know?
Why is anyone? It's like, why would? Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, that's not a good service. I wouldn't pay for that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even say. Also, it's weird. So it doesn't even say that Frank knows her. Frank just knows her friend Marco, who will come important in just a moment. Frank knows her friend Marco, and I guess Marco is like, she puts them in dog food, and Frank is like, oh, what the fuck? Why? And
why?
Like,
that's
so it
weird.
Turns out she's just like a Sweeney Todd level of murderer.
Yeah, serial killer, right?
Like going under the pretense that she can make people disappear, and I guess she's right. That, like, they do disappear.
I mean, sure. I don't think that's really what they're asking for, but sure. I feel like there's probably someone else in that bar that can help you out, but fine. All right,
yeah,
dog food lady.
She's the best.
Dog food lady's friend Marco is there.
But it's okay because we never talk to her or about her ever again.
Tight.
So she's just there as a bit of like window dressing to the set.
Now,
do you in this club, which is a half disco, half casino? So just keep that in mind. Okay. What's about to happen now is I'm going to introduce you to 6 characters. And the reason why I'm introducing to you all in this way is because the next 2 paragraphs, actually 4 paragraphs, are predicated on the relationship between them. And it is written so confusingly that I have written it down in I would say, a better way. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. No, I'm going to tell you exactly how they say it in the book.
Yeah.
So,
Your Honor, Frank must explain this. He must explain how this makes sense to us.
So,
anyway.
So we walk into the club and we see this person getting their ass absolutely handed to them. And and Frank's like, who's down? To some rando. And the rando's like, it's Kayla. And I don't think that's how the name is pronounced. It's Kala, but it's a man. I don't know. Kayla. So they say, it's Kayla. Yeah. And the 2 people that are beating them up is someone named Slorbo and Brain. So we have Slorbo and Brain.
Slorbo and Brain? This is truly like a Mos Eisley Cantina. Like, he's writing a fanfic about Star Wars. Okay, so Slorbo.
Don't worry.
Is that Germanic? Where's that from?
So we have Slorbo and Brain are beating up this person named Kayla, and Frank's like, cool. Yeah, I know what's happening here. So Slorbo and Brain, I need you to let me get through this because it's going to be hard enough as it is.
Okay.
Slorbo and Brain work for the casino, and the casino is owned by a guy named Dino. So Dino is Slorbo and Brain's boss, and Kayla is getting
we should work them into our fake comic book. We should work these people in. They sound like really good comic book villains. I think we should work them in somehow.
So Kayla is getting beat up by Slorbo and Brain because the previous week, Hans, which is Kayla's partner,
fuck you,
got shot by Slorbo. Oh, I forgot about this. So
wait a minute.
Yes.
Did Hans shoot first?
Boo. So anyway,
fuck you. That's what he's doing.
So Hans goes in to Kayla and Hans are 2 gangsters, and they're trying to get shit started. So Hans goes into the office of Slorbo and Brain, and is like, "Hey, I'm here to rough stuff up." And then Slorbo tells his bodyguard Jorgo.
Shut up.
He tells Jorgo
Slorbo and Jorgo
to shoot Hans. Hans doesn't die, but has to go to the hospital. And Kayla goes into the casino to beat up Slorbo and Brain, but he instead gets beat up on his own. And then, as all this is happening, as we were watching Kayla get beat up, Frank's friend Marco comes up to him and says, So Marco comes up to Frank and says, Franco, because he goes by Franco in this
I forgot about that's from the last one where it was Franco's bar and they call him Franco, but it's explicitly not his bar. I was trying to think, what's the weird bit about last time? That's what it was. They were at Franco's bar. It was they call him Franco here too.
It was a bar called Franco's, but he was not the owner. So Marco calls Franco, or Frank Franco, and then he's like, "What are you doing in town?" And Franco says, "I'm here to talk to Slorbo. Slorbo, who we know is beating up Kayla, not inches away from them." And then he goes, "Oh, you want to talk to Slorbo? I got you. Let's drive somewhere." And they get in a car and they drive away. They drive away to talk in the car. And you know who's driving that car? You bet your ass it's Jorgo. So Jorgo. so Jorgo.
So confusing. Frank, why did you write it like this? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't need to be like this. You made it up. Parody. You made it up.
So Jorgo is driving Marco and Franco, and they're talking. He's like, "So what are you doing in town?" He's like, "Well,
trying to meet Slorbo.
As I just mentioned, I'm trying to meet Slorbo." And he's like, "Oh, I'll talk to Slorbo, but what are you looking for?" And Frank is like, "I'm looking for a bioweapon. I think it's anthrax because of this anthrax thing that happened." And then Frank or Marco says, "You're not looking for anthrax. No one makes money on anthrax. You're looking for something bigger." And then Frank is like, "Yeah, sure," which led me to be like, "Okay, weird." I guess no one is
very confusing.
I guess no one is making money on anthrax, so yeah, sure, whatever.
But
so he's looking,
but also sure they are.
Yeah, so
it's like a weapon of war. Of course, they're making money off of it. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, so he's talking to him, yada yada, and he's like, "Well, I can't really help you, but I can talk to Slorbo, and we'll see what's going on." And then they go back to the casino where we know Slorbo is, but they go back to the casino. They drink all night. Him and Marco and Jorgo have a really fun night, and at the end of the night, Marco says, "Hey, Frank." And he's like, "Yeah," and he says, Alexander, what is it?
Hamilton.
Alexander Hamilton. No.
Bingo, Bango, and Bongo just walked in.
Yeah, and, he goes, Franco, yeah, Kuzin, Alexander Kuzin. Frank says,
"What?
Thanks."
What's up?
And he says, "For what?" He says, "I never asked, right?" And Marco says, "And I never answered." And so now we have a name. Now we have a name, and it's Alexander. What was it? What the fuck was it again?
Kuzin. My man, what the fuck are you talking about? Why did he just say Alexander Kuzin?
Because he's like, Marco's a part of the mob. He can't really being a part of the mob is, you can't.
I've seen The Sopranos.
Yeah,
I know what being a part of the mob is.
You have to pretend you know less than you do. And so he's just saying "Hey, Kuzin, Alexander Kuzin." And then Frank is like, "Got it. Thanks. That's a name." And he's like, and basically just they have a gentleman's agreement of and you didn't,
this never happened.
And you didn't hear that from me. And then Frank goes off on this weird thing, as he often does, where he's like,
write this book.
And he's like, "I only saw Marco one more time after that. And it was on the set of Jean-Claude Van Damme's Lionheart."
Motherfucker.
And then he says, "Not long afterward, he died in a shootout with the LAPD in an LA restaurant not more than 10 minutes from my house. But not before he killed the officer who shot him." Which makes me think, whose side are you on? What is this?
Frank Dux' ACAB,
what is this? You're either you can't be anti-everything. Or you're he was a criminal, but he had a good code or whatever. And then he's he obviously has this like sort of fascination with both the CIA as well as the police. But when stuff
he's
like
a guy that loves the cops, he's a loves the cops
but
guy, as we've established before.
Yeah, in real life as well. Not to say this is in real life. Parodies, whatever.
Fucking whatever.
So it's like this thing where it's like, whose side? Like, do you love the cops? Do you not love them? Like by being like, because I don't know if this situation even happened. Where like his friend he met in a fucking club in Dusseldorf, like gets into a shootout with the police, and he's like, but not before he killed the cop that shot him. And
here's the thing.
How are we as the audience supposed to react to that? Are we supposed to be like, hell yeah, like Copper, or it's like, oh, this guy's a criminal who does criminal things. Who are we supposed to like empathize with in this situation?
I would say, okay, here's my take. 1, Marco 100% does not exist. And again, Frank, fucking prove it. And you know him, importantly.
Well, he's dead, so.
Right, but that you knew him or whatever. So anyway, Marco doesn't exist. And what he's trying to get across from that is like, he's a badass, so he died in a shootout.
Yeah.
But he didn't go down like a bitch, so he killed the cop that killed him. I guess. Which, wait a minute, he killed the cop that shot him?
Yeah.
I guess he just died.
I think
later on from his injuries.
He got shot by the cop, and then he shot them, and they both died, Quentin Tarantino style, on the floor.
Sure. I think that is. I don't think he's really thinking about the kind of like who are there. It's just like, oh, that's badass. You know what I mean? Because he's like in a shootout with the cops, and like that's badass.
Yeah.
According to Frank.
Yeah.
And then like he dies, but like not without giving a fight. So I think you're supposed to think Marco is cool. I think that's my verdict. You're supposed to think Marco is cool for killing the guy who killed him.
But, because this isn't real parody,
Because it didn't happen
at all. Because it didn't happen. Just tell everyone he got into a fight with a rival gang or whatever. Like, just tell them it's like, oh, a bunch of, I don't know, Bloods or whatever, like, shot him. Like why bring the police into this when you've been, like, so pro-police this whole time?
He probably got a speeding ticket when he was writing this or something.
Whatever.
You know what I mean? Some petty grievance about nothing.
Anyway, moving on. So we have a return of another character, which is he goes back to the hotel room, and this person he did not mention when he was in the hotel room earlier, but waiting for him in the hotel room is Pope. Pope is there.
Thank God.
And
why? Okay, I know we talked about this last time. Pope's whole deal, his whole nickname, is because he ain't no saint, right?
Yeah, yes.
But for some reason, he is not allowed to go to any of these seedy bars, which feels like his entire purpose.
Yeah.
His like whole value is that he can go to these bars because he's a criminal guy.
Yeah, but I don't think
understand.
He doesn't have the same friends as Frank.
I just don't understand why he's been introduced to the plot. As a literary critique, I don't understand what his character is doing.
It's for this exposition dump that I'm about to dump on you.
Awesome, love it.
So basically, Frank is pissed. He's like, this wasn't anthrax. Like, what was it? Something else is going on. Like, you're lying to me. You're lying. And if you're lying to me, then I'm off this mission. And then Pope is like, fine, I will tell you. And then he says that the anthrax explosion, which mind you was real, that killed real people, and Frank is
did happen in real life.
And Frank is using it for his book. That anthrax explosion within the narrative of this book was also real. But a bit of revisionist history. The anthrax explosion was actually a cover-up to steal something. Ocean's 11 style.
Oh.
So
loose change, am I right?
Yeah, so the anthrax explosion was to steal something else that was being hid in that facility in Compound 19. So the anthrax explosion was real, but it was to steal something. And basically, Frank is like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, the CIA is crooked, but so is the KGB. I didn't know who
agreed.
I didn't know who I could trust. And then Pope begins to enter into what I'm going to assume is the big bad of this entire novel.
Oh fuck, we're finally getting fish?
No, we're not getting fish, but we are getting a Mission Impossible Rogue Nation sort of situation.
Because we thought it was Mission Impossible 3 with fish. If fish does not come back into this plot and that was just a Frank doing cool shit thing, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm going to lose my mind if fish doesn't come back into this plot. But okay, fine. So it's a Rogue Nation thing.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So he basically introduces this idea of there is a big bad organization that is like essentially a crime syndicate. Like it's like all the criminals together working for a united purpose. And it is called...
It's like an Illuminati?
Huh?
Is it like an Illuminati kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of. But it's like all the mob bosses and stuff. And it's called the Organization... Hold on.
Organization 13.
Organizatia. It's called the Organizatia. And so...
What language
basically,
is that?
The way that Pope describes the Organizatia is that they're so bad. Like, they're the baddest ones in the world. And, like, Pope says, like, you Americans, you want the Iron Curtain to come down so bad, but if it comes down, you have no idea what you're unleashing on the world. It is this organization that is so bad that it will destroy the world. It's already destroying the Soviet Union. Yes, we are a country that has some flaws, but they're the ones that are making it so bad. They're the ones that are destroying everything about our country just so they can get a profit. And so he presents this idea.
No, wait a minute. Now I'm on board.
Okay, so they introduce this idea that there is this organization of like all these big bad mob bosses, and they're worse than every other mob boss in the world. And they are intentionally bringing down the Soviet Union. And if the Iron Curtain comes down, they're going to feasibly destroy the world because their influence is like relegated to only that area. But then he goes on to say that they are the ones that are intentionally wanting to keep control over the Soviet Union by having it blocked off from the rest of the world. So which is it?
What?
Are they like Pandora's box, and if we open them onto the world, they're going to destroy everything? Or are they intentionally trying to isolate themselves so they can consolidate more power? And it's made even more confusing by this thing where he's like, you can't have them unleashed on the world. You have no idea what's going to happen. And then he proceeds to say that this crime syndicate has connections all over the world. They have connections with the Yakuza.
Right. Yakuza. It was obviously Yakuza. Yeah, of course.
With the Italian mafia and with the mafia in America. So it's like, are they already among us? And then he has this really weird dig where he's like, you Americans, you're so bright-eyed, you're so optimistic. You'll introduce anybody in your country as long as they say they're a refugee, which is something we kind of already probably knew that Frank believed. And he's saying
which is also very untrue.
Yeah, these people are pretending to be refugees, and they're actually like mob workers, mob enforcers, and they're going to destroy the country. So it's like, are they already in the world or aren't they? Like, which is it, Pope?
Are they being unleashed or are they already there? Are they trying to keep their power in the Soviet Union or destroy the Soviet Union?
Yeah.
Are they for capitalism but also for the Soviet Union?
Yeah.
Like, what do you... What's up, boss?
So he introduces this, like, basically it is written like it's just one big bad. And it's like, this is the biggest bad of all big bads. And like,
They've already got 3 Infinity Stones.
Yeah, and like they like don't let them out. They'll destroy you, but they're already there. But like they could be worse, even though they're as bad as they could be. And it's just like it's very disjointed and very like it's hard to tell. Like, and then he goes on to say like a lot of the KGB is already in it, and a lot of the CIA is already in it. And it's like, oh shit, like so they've invaded already, or like what's the situation?
And, well, this is, I mean, I said it earlier when I said it's the Illuminati, but this is exactly the Illuminati problem that we always talk about.
Yeah,
where it's like, oh, they're the Illuminati. They have set up every war in human history.
Yeah.
And they're in charge of every world government. But they also, like, like are trying to get power and trying to like control the media or whatever, and it's like sounds like they're already in power but they're not, and then also like they're letting you know through like Jay-Z music videos that they're in power for reasons that are unclear, and it's like, what? Sorry, if they started every war in history, sounds like they're already pretty good in power. I don't really know.
Yeah.
So it's a very it's a Fox News grandpa sort of screed. It's a Facebook screed. Right?
Yeah.
It's just like some weird QAnon Facebook post.
Yeah.
But he made it into a book.
Yeah.
That we're now reading in court.
So it's very that, and then kind of to wrap this all up, he says to Pope, like, do you know the name Alexander Kuzin? And he's like, oh shit, that guy is a KGB colonel. This is worse than I thought. And then he's like, if that guy stole a bioweapon, we're in for a Mission Impossible 4 type situation. And
so okay.
So basically,
because all the groups, all the KGB and the CIA are actually on the other side, which, to be fair, is the plot of every Mission Impossible movie, right? Like every single movie is like, he's doing his job, but then he gets double crossed by someone in the agency.
It's very double. So now we have no idea who to trust, which leads me to believe that Fish is the guy that we met in the beginning who insulted Frank's boots, and he said, well, guess what? I have fucking bombs in these, and I'll kill us both. Totally
that's what you said from like,
that dude is Fish. He's a rotten CIA agent, and he is out to work for this syndicate organization to destroy the world and to steal some unnamed bioweapon for the purpose of
question mark, because they already control all of the intelligence agencies of every country and all of organized crime. Like, I'm not sure what the Organization 13 is exactly doing, but like, fine, okay, they need a bioweapon. Again, they control the CIA. Hey, they have bioweapons already then. They don't need this one. And also, if they control the KGB, wasn't it a KGB lab? Like, it was a Russian lab. Why didn't they just take it? Why'd they have to blow it up?
He thinks that it was the KGB helped, like some dirty people in the KGB helped cover it up. Like, with...
why would they help by just stealing it?
It's just an anthrax thing.
But if they stole it instead of blowing up the lab...
Exactly.
You wouldn't need a cover story,
but
no one knows it's there.
I think the idea is if you stole it, then it would be missing. But if it blew up, then it wouldn't be missing.
But then they have to figure out why it blew up.
It blew
seems like a bigger story.
Anthrax or whatever, I don't know. How did it blow up in real life? Because this is
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying is like arson you can detect. I don't know how, but firefighters or whatever arson experts go in there and they're like, oh, this was started by arson, and I know because XYZ, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It seems way harder to cover that up. And if you run the KGB, why do you need to cover it up in the first place?
I don't think they run the KGB. I think they have like crooked agents within the KGB.
So they're Hydra. They're like a Hydra thing.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Okay.
We're finally getting this thing moving. We have like a really, really big bad, and we're about to meet like, the Darth Maul of this situation, which is Fish.
The mini boss.
And like the Emperor is this Alexander guy, I'm thinking. So
you don't think that's the same guy? You don't think Fish is Alexander Hamilton?
I think Fish is like, I think that Alexander is going to be like the anti-Bill Casey, and Fish is going to be like him,
the anti-Frank Dux.
The anti-Frank Dux, where he's like, I already know all your moves, and I already am as strong as you, and whatever. But Frank's like, but guess what? You didn't think of this, and then he throws an extension cord onto a grill.
Fuck. See, here's the thing. We're gonna fuck around and write like an anime that's like the Secret Man anime that's like way better. That's what you're. Yeah. The Secret Man anime.
Yeah.
This. Nope. There's no. Portmanteau.
That's how I want this to end, and then it ends the final panel of his old sensei going, "You know what? You are Asian."
Yeah, you are Japanese.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, I feel like an anti-Frank Dux and an anti-Bill Casey would be very cool. I'm sure it's going to be something much stupider than that.
Yeah.
Here's hoping. But hoping. Man, another banger chapter from Frank Dux.
Yeah, and mind you, that was 11 pages.
Oh my God. How are you reading this book?
He writes with intensity. Each page is like, within each paragraph, there is the whole world to dissect.
I feel like I'm not joking, and maybe it's just because we've been reading this book for like 2 years, but like, I feel like you could do a college course, but it would on this book, but it would be like a mix. It would be co-taught between a literary professor and a psychology professor who are like, let me talk about the structure of the book, but then also talk about like the obvious mental illness that the author has, like the complete disillusion and insanity that this man is like living with every day.
Yeah.
And maybe, fuck that, you and I would teach it. It'd be you and me, and that's what we would do. Is we would teach a college course.
We are the experts. It's like in Armageddon where they couldn't teach astronauts how to do like mining. They had to teach the miners how to be astronauts. Like, we already know so much about this. It would be just easier if we taught it.
Zach, is it wild to think that by the end of this, we will not only be the foremost like resource to find out about this book, but we will be the leading experts in Frank Dux. Like, we will be Frank Dux experts. I'm like, we did a like 18-part series about his book. Yeah, like, we know all about Frank Dux.
Our bag is we actually have to open up a brick and mortar like liar Hall of Fame, and then we like speak at all of the things, and then like
LiarCon. We've already talked about this.
Like, the one that we're most excited for is Frank, and we're just like, guys, this one has been years in the making. We are so excited to introduce this liar to you guys.
Yeah, LiarCon 2022. Buy your tickets now. I know last year you guys all spent your money on those tickets, and then we didn't have a venue or a setup.
Well, and that's because of Corona.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't a scam; it was Corona. But this time, we promise, if you pay us money for LiarCon 2021, there will definitely be a real conference, and those people will be there.
Yeah.
Parody. I don't know. I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, that's our show. Thank you all so much for listening to Get Better. If you want to find us, you can find us on Instagram at Get Better Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube by searching Get Better Podcast. If you'd like to, or rather, if you are listening to us on Spotify, that's awesome. Please continue to do so. But if you're listening to us on iTunes, if you give us a 5-star review, or for whatever review you think this is worth, please do that. That really helps us get noticed. And if you would like to reach out to us, you can do that at meetthefockers2fockedup@gmail.com. That is meetthefockers2fockedup@gmail.com. And that's all I have. So see you guys next week.
All right.
All right.
See you. Bye forever.
See you. Bye forever.